Morning guys, welcome to On The Level Racing channel. Firstly, before we get started into the racing, we're going to go a bit of a sideline here with some greyhound news from Tony Hawes. Give me a second, I'll just move this damn camera. Okay, so I'm going to read it off what I've got here. So I would like you to listen to this because obviously, like I said, Tony knows his dogs very well. So I'm going to read it off what he's obviously posted me this morning. So again, morning all guys. Hopefully some of you clever lot backed my anti-post pick for the TV trophy, Savannah Volcano, which you could have been got 25-1 anti-post. She's been winning for fun recently, and now best price is 7-2 favourite to win the actual trophy outright. The RPG TV Grand National starts tomorrow night, and Tony has a big fancy here in a dog called Mina Maverick in the outright bettings. That's not for tomorrow's race, that's for the outright betting for the national. Currently you can get 7-1 with the dog. With Corals, it's ridiculous, he said, considering she was beat a short head in the Springbok final a couple of weeks ago. So I'll just go over there. Like I said, it's obviously, hopefully you got a bit of 25 on that Savannah Volcano anti-post. And because now, obviously, the dog is now 7-2 favourite. So you'd be quite winning if you back the dog each way, obviously. I do believe you would have got the first four, I think, if you got that 25-1. And also for the RPG TV Grand National, and that's an outright bet, you can get 7-1 with this dog. It's called Mina Maverick. I'll read the race again so you can hear it. It's the RPG TV Grand National. Okay, so it's the Racing Post Grand National, TV Grand National, yeah? And it's a dog called Mina Maverick. You can get 7-1. So please, guys, honestly, just listen to what, especially on these anti-post dogs, you must follow Tony there and try and get on at 7-1 there, because he seems to think that this dog is the dog to beat in the national. I mean, I thought I put that at the beginning of the blog, so you can't miss it. There's no excuse that going all the way down the bottom of the blog and you're not going to listen to it at all. You're just going to hear the horses and go. But no, you should listen to Tony, please. So thank you, Tony, for that. Much appreciated. So we're going to start here. Obviously, we've got the last day of the National Hunt National Hunt season this today, where we already know that Harry Skelton will be crowned champion jockey, with Paul Nicholls looking to confirm that he again won the trainer's title. And it is a formality really for Paul Nicholls this year. Henderson hasn't been doing much. I mean, I thought Kim Bailey might have been a bit closer, but obviously Nicholls has run away with it again. So we're going to start here in the 155 at Sandown. It's not just Sandown I'm covering. There's a cut of races around the country also. It might be worth noting as well. I think there's one at Leicester and one at Doncaster, and I believe there might be another one somewhere else. But firstly, like I said, the Bet365 Novices Championship Final Handicap Hurdle, just shy of the 2 miles, 38,000 to the winner, 14 go to post, 155 at Sandown, and I'm definitely in the camp here of the likely favourite of this race, and that is On to Victory for Alan King and Tom Cannon. If we go back to the horse's last ability run, he was seen winning over at Warwick, going back to March last month, when beating a horse called Ernesto of Ian Williams by 4 lengths, and did it quite comfortably off a mark of 125. That will probably put him in the region of about 132, 133 if the handicap has got it correctly. That put him up to a mark of 127. So this horse is pretty wet in. This horse is still probably, £6 wet in. They've only put him up £2. Okay, yeah, that was novice hurdle. This is handicap debut. just to let you know that. However, this horse has run in a handicap, believe it or not, in a Grade 3 event, when finishing quite a way down at Newbury in the Betfair Hurdle back in February, and was rated 129 that day. And obviously Milkwood, who was 2 3/4 lengths behind Onto Victory, as we know, has franked that form. Always does your head in when you can't get, when at the races can't get their act together, and you can't get onto a page. Give me a second, guys. So like I said, Milkwood franked that form at Ayr when taking the Scottish Champion Hurdle off a mark of 142, and did it quite convincingly by 4 lengths. So, and also that horse had also franked the form, really finishing prior to that, finishing third to Belfast Banter in the county hurdle at Cheltenham. As we know, Belfast Banter came out and franked that form at Aintree. So it's a good line of form for Onto Victory to finish off the season for Annan King. And I would be very, very disappointed if I saw this horse not win this race smartly. Others in the race, I think, if you have a look at it here, I mean, I couldn't have Nicholls Horse at the top weight there. I think too much weight on Flick or Voyeur. I think beaten quite, even though I finished third last time out, when behind Pazvolsky, who they meet again from the Kempton run, beating 4 lengths that day, and that winner was giving, the Flick de Voyeur was giving £5 to that winner that day, with Royaume Uni back in full for further 4 lengths. So really, if you're going to back Pazvolsky here, of Chris Gordon's here, and Paul Nicholls horse, you've got to look for the line of Pazvolsky, who beat both of them. But I just think Onto Victory is a bit of a class horse here, and coming here off 127 for a handicap hurdle, really for the first time, because obviously you've run in the Grade 3 before, Betfair Hurdle. Down the bottom here, obviously you've got Ryu Yumi, I said with form line with the top weight, and Herbiers of Oliver Greenhalgh's. Paddy Brennan were coming for the ride for this. Rode the horse to victory to win the Betfair Juvenile Handicap Hurdle over at Ascot back in the 28th of March, beating Ryu Uni quite convincingly. It's half a length, but he had plenty of hand there. But I just think, look at the that will put him at about 124. I mean, Ryu may be up to about 116, 117. Yeah, it's about right. So yeah, you're looking like these two will have to improve, especially at the bottom of the weights there. But yeah, I think Onto Victory here in the first race. I think it's a good chance for Annan King to finish off the season, a good season, with Onto Victory to go here, and I'll have a 1 point win at 9-2, generally across the board, with most firms. I mean, Mr. Play, I don't know if you play everyone bets on that website, but they seem to say they're 13-2. I doubt that's correct. But as I say, it's generally 9-2. So 1 point win at 9-2 on to victory in the 155 at Sandown. On to the 230. We have our first graded race of the day, which is the Bet365 Oaksey Chase. Just 4 go to post here. It's a Grade 2 event over just shy of 2 miles 7. 23 grand to the winner here. Again, it's a 4-horse affair. It'd probably be no bet for me, even though I think Froden is the horse to beat. I don't think the step back and trip will unpenalise the horse. Bronifoss comes in. He's a front runner. I mean, Mr. Fisher of Nicky Henderson's, just hasn't done much this season. Obviously, won once, but has either pulled up or unseated the rider at Cheltenham last time out. You can never overlook what Harry Skelton and Dan Skelton have teamed up with here. They have Born Survivor, but definitely would have to improve off the back of the last win, which came off a mark of 135 when winning at Stratford, a chase there, off a mark of 135. But yeah, I think Froden is the horse there, highly rated horse, 167. I don't think the horse was discredited here, finishing 5th in the Gold Cup. Ran very, very well for a long way. And I mean, Ian Paul Nichols has turned around and said on a blog recently that this is the kind of horse he would like to take over to the Dublin Festival next year. Because he doesn't take that many over, but obviously he said he has to be worth his travelling to really take the horse over and compete over there. And Frodon would be probably the only horse at this stage in time that he would take. So that's a good boost for Frodon there. So the King George win, I think, will be very, very hard to beat now. And 8-11. If we got this up a bit earlier in the morning yesterday, we could have got something like 5-4 on this horse. I mean, I say again, that Mr. Play website is given 5-4 here on the exchanges, but it's not true. He's 8-11. He's generally 8-11 across the board, but no bet for me. I just think Frodon's too classy for this lot. In the 305, the first of Grade 2, Grade 1s, we've got the Bet 365 Celebration Chase over just shy of 2 miles. I just put a ware out there that reading some post on Twitter yesterday, and many people seem to think that the ground wasn't really riding that quick compared onto the times that were clocked on the flat. So you seem to think there might be a little bit of cut in the ground there, even though it says good to firm. But yeah, there was quite a few posts going around. They seem to think on the time scales that there was possibly a little bit of cut in the ground. And if that's the case, I mean, I would like to think that Alan King's Go Royal could actually turn up here. I don't think you could be discounted at all the way he ran at Cheltenham last time out, went behind, put the kettle on. It finished in 5th, and he kept on from the last with no impression really. But yeah, he has a bit to find with put the kettle on, especially that he was given £7. He gave £7 obviously to put the kettle on the Queen Mother. And obviously he has to give that weight again. I mean, giving £7 to Henry de Bromhead's horse here is going to be very, very hard for anything here in this race. But he has had a hard season. Don't get me wrong. Put the kettle on. I mean, you got to think about, like, I mean, this horse obviously came out in November Cheltenham meeting and won the Schlur Chase, which was known as the Cheltenham Chase, by 1 1/4 lengths. He had a hard race against Duke des Genevieres that day. And then came out, went back home to Leopardstown and was beaten by Chacun Pour Soi. As we know, Chacun Pour Soi was turned over at the Cheltenham Festival. And if we go to that Cheltenham Festival run in the Queen Mother, yeah, he reversed that form with Chacun Pour Soi there. He beat Grantine, he beat Sco Royal. But I just think he's 156 rated horses winning there. So to win that race and what he was beating, I mean, he would have to go up another probably £8 here. He must be rated about at least 164 now. 159. So this horse is still well in. He's only rated 159 and he's still an improver. But he has beaten most of his field already. I mean, I couldn't have Altior. I mean, Altior would have to. I mean, don't get me wrong. They've done this the right way. I mean, since he was turned over, he apparently scoped dirty before Cheltenham. So obviously they didn't decide to take him. He was beaten by Nube Negra to 3.5 lengths in the Desert Orchid Chase. And we know Nube Negra ran an absolute cracker when finishing second to put the kettle on in a race that Sco Royal fell that day. I personally, the thing about Sco Royal is I'm not the greatest fan of Daryl Jacob at the moment. I mean, he's not riding exceptionally well. I'd have preferred to probably seen Tom Bellamy on his horse, or even Tom Cannon. However, it is what it is. Daryl Jacobs obviously always retained to ride the horse, but it won off 163 this year back in February when taking the Betfair Game Sprint Chase, when beating Champ by 2 lengths. Obviously, Champ was disappointing when heavily backed for the Gold Cup. Has a bit of fine with put the kettle on, and really, it's the weight allowance thing here that's Put the Kettle on here. Could be very hard to beat here. Aidan Coleman would come in for the ride for Henry de Bromhead. You know, it's a quite nice little pickup there for Aidan Coleman. Obviously, he rode him. They've kept to the partnership intact from the Queen Mother's Chase. But my little concern here is it been a hard season for him? I mean, he had to work hard to win the Champion Chase. But he's been off, you know, it's been what, 38 days now he's been off? Yeah, 38 days he's been off. So, and he still holds winner form here, to even think that some of these could beat him. I think Scowroll is definitely the danger. The Alan King horse here. Nicky Henderson's won this race for the last 4 years, but the last time Henry de Bromhead sent a horse over, it was Special Tiara, which won. So yeah, I think I would have to go for Put the Kettle on. I can't believe it must be. I mean, Nicky Henderson's obviously is his horse being back purely on the grounds that he's won this race the last 4 years. Possibility. I mean, it'd be a great way for Altior to go out and bat out his career, because I can't see Altior running next season. It's probably the last one we'll probably see this horse on the race course. But you just never know these days. As I said, Put the Kettle on here and Sco Royal. It's a hard one, guys. You know, it's why it's a grade 1. But with that weight allowance, £7 from his rivals here, and he's already beaten most of his rivals. So the only thing goes against me is the fact that she gets the mere allowance, but it's the fact she has had a hard season. So she bypassed Aintree, so did Sco Royal, and so did Grenadine of Paul Nicholls. I mean, we better have a look at Grenadine here, because obviously Nicholls has got Dolos as well, but I can't really fancy that. But Grenadine, this horse was, you know, related to be something special when we first saw him last February, when he beat Champagne Mystery over at Fakenham. It was a quite nice prospect. Came out at Cheltenham March last year and finished 4th in the Johnny Henderson Annual for mark 150. But most of his wins hasn't been at obviously classy tracks. He's been beaten by Sco Royal, been beaten by Put the Kettle on quite convincingly. I mean, obviously his best run came to Put the Kettle on. He was only lost by 2 lengths when obviously giving £7 again to the winner. And that's you know, you work it out. That's £7 probably equivalent to about two and a half lengths. So at the weights again, yeah, it's a very, very big ask for Grenadine to try and reverse that form with Put the Kettle on and with Sco Roll of level weights. So I'm going to go for Put the Kettle on here to finish off a fine season for Henry de Bromhead, who it probably had, for me, has probably been the highlight of the National Hunt season. I mean, this guy has, you know, mopped up all the big races, and I can't see no reason why he won't do this one as well. So yeah, I think we'll go for a nab on this one. Next best bet, and that's a 1.5 win, 11-4 on Put the Kettle on, to obviously finish off a great season for the Irish trainer. On to the 240. This is the Grade 3 Bet 365 Gold Cup Handicap Chase. A marathon race over 3 miles, just short of 3 miles 5. 16 go to post here, so you will get paid. On some firms will pay 5 on this. Firstly, we're going to look at Henry de Bromhead. I think he's got also in this race here, which is Rachel Blackmore. It's interesting that Aidan Coleman kept the ride for obviously Put the Kettle on, which is good really, because Rachel Blackmore has come over to ride Plan of Attack. I thought this horse was travelling quite well at Cheltenham in the Kinmure when falling, I think 4 out. That was over 3 1/4 miles, and the horse was still travelling quite well. It says here towards rear, not fluent the first or second jump, had to find his feet, close on the outside before the 4th, close on the 3rd, when fell 3 out. So had every chance. Was rated 138 that day. Morning Vicar has threatened that form from Nicky Henderson, by the way. I believe Morning Vicar has come out and won an average race at Perth, at the Perth meeting yesterday, beating a horse called Fire Away by 8 lengths. I mean, Fire Away was going for a 4-timer. So yeah, so there's a little bit of form on there, mate. he's got a bit of fine there with Golden. You've got Golden Future here of Phil Middleton's. Another horse doesn't seem to run the same race twice. I mean, we have to go back into. I mean, then again, he's only a second season chaser. Well, actually a first season chaser. I do apologise. And he won on debut at Ludlow off a mark 139, and hasn't really put that that kind of ability back. I mean, he's been back over hurdles at Kempton, ran over 3 miles in a Grade 2 at Warwick in the Hampton Novices Chase. Then came back over in a listed event when running in the Midlands Grand National back on the 20th of March, when finishing quite way down the field off a mark of 142. We'll have to probably improve here. That dropped down £2, but we'll have to improve, I think, to win this. Anything down at the bottom of the market there, nothing really stands out for me down at the bottom of the weights there. If we look at the top here, we probably have to look at Alex Howes here, Smooth Stepper. 5th to the 1 shot for the race. Like one last time, mate, we're coming here for a penalty. Won at Carlisle on the back of the 21st of March, winning a veterans handicap chase. And that was the first win the horse recorded since February of 2020, when winning the Grade 3 Grand National Trial at Haydock off a mark of 136. Comes in sort of 142 on that £6 penalty still. And I think at the weights, as a 12-year-old as well, I think it's not going to be that easy. Now, one I was quite sweet on him, I thought the horse was a little bit overpriced, was this Irish Prophecy of Emma Lavelles. Now, I didn't think the horse run that too badly in a conditions race at Ascot back on the 28th of March, when finishing 14 lengths behind a horse called Stoner's Choice or Fergal O'Brien's. That was over 2 mile 5. He looked like a horse that would need a really stiff test of stamina. That was over hurdles. Back over the Chase, he won it off 135 back in November last year, and picked up a couple of nice wins at the beginning and the back end of the season. So I'm going to hope here that this horse could run well again here. I mean, he's coming into the race off a mark of 142, which is quite feasible. And I mean, I think Emma Lavelle won this race back in. Oh, maybe mistaken. Sorry, maybe the race I'm looking at. No, sorry, my apologies. However, yeah, I just think it could be well handicapped at 14 to 1. Not a bad price. Christian Williams here. Jack Tudor comes with a £3 claim on Kitty's Light. Again, another horse that ran exceptionally well. We went at Kelso last time out over 3¼ miles. We're winning the Ballers Handicap Chase, winning by neck. That was a hard race for 135. That was the first recorded win since last October 2020. It's definitely a horse that stays well. One off 135 there, but probably coming into a mark about 141 with a £6 penalty. Comes to 139, so definitely there. There's a few pound to play with there, so I won't be surprised to see this horse be in the mix up here. Currently priced about 10 to 1. Obviously, we have to look at Kim Bailey's horse here, El Presente. David Bass will come in for the ride here. Nice horse by Presenting. Last seen on the 25th of March at Ludlow in a gravel handicap chase of a mark 148, when finishing third to a horse called Check It Out. Prior had 1 over 3 and 3 furlongs, 3 miles 1 furlong. A listed great ace, beating Potterman by Shorthead. This is probably where the form is really, because Kitty Light was back in third. Now, if we look at the weights here, Kitty Light was carrying 9 stone 11, and even though Kitty's Light was in receipt of so much weight, still went down by about 3.5 lengths. Potterman, Alan King's horse, was 142 rated with El Presente. There's a short head between them and on level weights. Excuse me. This time around, they come off 11 weights again, both on £5 penalties. But Hel Presente was probably all out that day. Potterman was probably the staying on the better. I mean, Annan King's horse here could run a big race here. Obviously, didn't do anything favours, but came out and seated the rider in the Ladbrokes Trophy on the 20th of November last year. Obviously, Cloth Cap won that race. I right, obviously, and all these horses went on to run well at Cheltenham. If we look at here, mid-division, until seated rider the 13th. This horse could be really well in here off a mark of 147. And I think could run very well. I mean, I'm willing to go 2 against the field here on the prices. I mean, obviously, a lot of money is going to come for the Henry de Bron head here, Planet Attack. I haven't stepped on here actually. Paul Nichols horse here. I do apologise. This is Emerillo. Big interest in that Harry Skelton has got the ride on the horse, and he hasn't ridden before. Last seen winning at Newbury, when winning a limited handicap chase with mark 138 by half a length, beating Hold the Note over just shy of 3 miles. It's a step up in trip, but looking the way this horse was staying on, he had to really get up to his work by Harry Cobden and just defy the favouritism to win the race. That was just shy of 3 miles. Will the horse get a step up? Being French bred, he should do. I mean, he seems to be a sound jumper, but obviously Harry Skelton was coming for the ride, which is quite an interesting combination there, especially when both are going to be given the titles on the day, and this would be an amazing way to go out, wouldn't it, to win the Gold Cup handicap chase. So the 2 I'm going to have against the field here is, my decision is going to be Emerillo, which is going to be a 1-point win at 4-1 on Emerillo. He's generally 4-1 across the board, and I'm going to have a half a point each way on Potterman 11s. Okay, so let's read that again. That's 340 at Sandown. That's the Bet 365 Gold Cup handicap chase, and that is 1-point win on Emerillo at 4-1, and half a point each way 11s on Potterman. On to the 4:15, which is the Bet 365 Select Hurdle Grade 2 event over just shy of 2 miles 6. 23,000 to run. A winner here, 7 go to post. And I do like here Nicky Henderson's horse here on the blind side. I don't think this horse has done anything wrong all season. Pretty consistent for me. Was seen back in January this year, winning the Mason's Bet 10 get 20 hurdle over at Market Raisin on heavy ground. When beating Nearly Rockefeller by a neck of 152, and then came out in February in the Rendlesham Hurdle Grade 2, finishing 2.5 lengths by third wind of 153. And I don't think the horse was absolutely never disgraced in the Liverpool Hurdle, which is the Ryanair Stayers Hurdle Aintree. When obviously not finding a lot at the end, Time Hill went on to win the race. Obviously, stablemate Call Me Lord was there in 5th, 80-1, and Indefatigable was down there in 7th. There wasn't much between them. It was only like 3 lengths between the 3 there. And at the weights, obviously Indefatigable was getting the £7 allowance from Call Me Lord, and on the blind side. This time around, obviously, the horse will get that allowance. She will get that allowance again, Indefatigable. Last year's winner, You're Never Called, Kim Bailey's horse here, hasn't done absolutely nothing this season. I can't see why this horse is in at 15-8. Obviously, seen in the Stayers Hurdle, finishing 8th to Flooring Port, was 100-1 that day, and he hasn't really done anything all season. Again, we're looking at the horse's last win was last season when winning this race of a mark of 155 when beaten on the blind side by 9 lengths. So Comes into this off a mark of 154. It's a pound better off than last year. On the blind side, obviously, it's going up the weights. It's £6 worse off than last year. So yeah, you could make a thing that's horses for courses that you never call could be very hard to beat it. And the fact that the horse had a win operation as well. It's the second run back. As for 10-year-olds winning this race, obviously you never call will be the first horse to do so. But obviously, it would have probably run last year, but obviously due to the pandemic. But my favourites have got a good record in this race, guys. I mean, the favourite has won this race 5 of the last 6 years. Obviously, they pinpoint these horses here. I do think, obviously, on the blind side, we've won a big race and Call Me Lord, the 2 Nicky Henderson horses here. But the reason they were priced at 33 to 1, 80 to 1, respectively, at Aintree tells your story, really. I mean, and on the blind side, obviously, he's had the benefit of that 2-week run. But Indefatigable, again, coming from Aintree, behind on the blind side to 3 lengths. So, yeah, would have to step up, I think, to obviously reverse that form. We look at Nichols here. Again, Harry Skelton's coming for the ride again today on all called Pica d'Ore. And yeah, I was quite taken with this horse at Taunton when finishing second to a horse called Rockerdenne, of stablemate. So obviously, he's only beaten by half a head, and obviously he was given a stone at the weights. So obviously he's only beaten the last strides as well for a mark of 150. If he's been penalised for that run, you're looking at about 153. Yeah, but he shouldn't have been beaten that day, but he comes in for 154. He's another horse that's had a win operation. And I wouldn't put anyone off backing his horse. I think giving a stone of weight to the winner last time out and only beaten by a head and literally beaten in the last strides, Pica d'Ore could definitely probably step up. And the fact that this horse missed Cheltenham and he missed Aintree is a very, very good clue that Paul Nicholls has teamed this horse up here, hopefully to make a good run. So, as a bet wise, I mean, I think you never call. Obviously, he's now a 10-year-old. I think the age could against the horse. That's my theory. On the blind side, I think we'll run well again for Nicky Henderson, and as well in Indefatigable. I think that horse will run very well. But I think Nicholls has got this right. He's bypassed 2 big festivals and kept Pica d'Ore back for a race of this nature. And we do know that Paul Nicholls does very well at Sandown. And I think 11-2, 11-2 a Unibet, but we won't take that because obviously most of you ain't got Unibet accounts. So we're going to stick with 5-1. So I think we can go bold enough to go 1 point win it 5-1 on Pica d'Ore for the Bet365 Select Hurdle. On to the 450, which I'm going to cover, which the Bet365 Josh Gifford's Novices Handicap Chase, extended 2.5 miles, 10 go to post. I found this race a very exceptional hard race to fathom out, really. It would be, it'd be a farce, would it really, if Nick Gifford's got 2 in the race. He's got Fairway Freddie and Belargus in the race. And really at the pair, I mean, Fairway Freddie won last time out. I mean, the fact that I've got a claimer on Belargus here, Neil Houlihan, and I thought he was going quite well here over the course and distance last time out in a listed event when he was hampered at the first and then he held up in mid-division, closed up on the night, but he fell at the 12th. He was beaten favourite that day, and obviously the winner was Venetia Williams horse here, Faraday, who will be in this race also. But I think Belargus here, if this horse stays up on its feet, he could definitely have a good chance of actually winning here. I mean, he is a course winner over just shy of 2 miles here back in February, when winning by 9 lengths. And then, that to me looked like there was possibly much improvement as the horse will be stepped up in trip. I mean, back in 4th there was Phlegmatic, who didn't run too badly in a champion handicap chase over air last week, finishing 5th. Obviously, we've looked through a form line there with Faraday. Obviously, we have to have a penalty there. At the top of the weights here, you've got Kidder Clown, who I think should have lost really at Newbury, but that was in the Greatwood Hurdle. Greatwood Gold Cup Chase. Apologise. Over at Newbury, when beaten length by Ombrigado. I mean, he was beaten by not an actual well-formed horse, but he was beaten by a horse that was in form, basically. He has 7 lengths to find with Falco Blitz, though, from their Kempton encounter back on Boxing Day at the King George meeting. He was raised £15 for winning that when beating Falco Blitz. It was probably a bit harsh, really. And we'll come off this mark of 140. So it dropped a little bit. £3 in the weights. That's for Nicky Henderson. And then obviously the Skeltons here have not that Fusée, who again I thought was disappointing. When I say disappointing, he finished a neck behind a horse called Niche of Brian Esson. That Niche was the horse I tipped up to win that race at Ayr, purely on the back of the grounds that obviously Niche was plotted for the race anyway by Brian Edison. And he lost by a neck, giving £5 at the weights. I mean, back in 5th there was a horse called Fienval, who is another horse that I tipped up last week, and went in and won at went in and won at Ayr at a nice price of 6-1 for Nicky Henderson. So that form has been boosted for not that Fusée. And he's off the mark 137. And the fact that Skeltons have sent the horse here speaks a lot of volumes. He finished 5th in the Grand Annual of 137 behind Sky Pirate, and he beat 7 lengths, which was a pretty good run, really. So I would like to think, obviously, not that Fusée could possibly run a big race here again and could be the horse to beat. Sorry. Any other horse in this race I want to look at? I don't know. You never know what Paul Nicholls' horse is going to turn up. I mean, it's the race I meant Emma Lavelle won. Sorry, it's the race I was trying to earlier. I mean, she won this race with Junction 14 back in 2016 when fancied to win the race. And this race really over the years hasn't produced many outsiders. So if you're going to be looking around for 25-1 shots and double figure prices, I wouldn't even bother because there's only been 6 years of this race and we've all been. I mean, the highest price winner's been 15-2. So you're probably looking at the first 3 in the betting in this race. One that's been heavily backed overnight is at the bottom weight here, Gary Moore's horse here, Iconic Muddle. Now, there's been a lot of money around for this horse. I think this horse is coming from about 11-1 last night into 11-2. Last seen at Huntingdon when winning a handicap race of 117. Sorry, finishing 2nd, beating 3 parts of a length over 6 miles. We're probably rated off the back of that 122, 121 possible. Yeah, 121. And it's very, very low down at the weights, 10 stone 5. Getting plenty of weights that are all round here. I mean, again, there's only been one horse that's won below 11 stone, and that was back in 2014. And believe it or not, Harry Skelton rode that. So we're going to go for the Skeltons here. I think Not Now Fusée has done nothing wrong. Falco, Blitz, and Kidder Crown obviously have to be respected from trainers that have won this race in the previous years. But Emma Lavelle has won this race, I said 2016. 2015 was run by Cocktails at Dawn of Nicky Henderson's. And Gary Moore and Jamie Moore won this with Larry last year. So every single trainer who's won this race has got a runner. I mean, Iconic Muddle has got a lot of weight allowance here from the top principals. But I would like to think that we're looking around the mid 11 stones for this race. And I think, like I said, Not Now Fusée, 11 stone 7 is quite well weighted. I mean, let's have a look, 49, 39. Just my worry is that he's had that extra run, not now Fuse, and it might take his toll off a hard season. That's only my downfall. I mean, I'm putting kicking myself here because I'm talking myself out of back in not now Fuse. Beyond the fact that it might have this race might have come too quick for the horse. Belagus obviously only officially rated 127. Most horses that won this race have been obviously 140, 146. There's not much trained around obviously the horse here, but I'd like to think that horses that have run well, second or third last time out, maybe not coming in with a penalty. So I'm going to probably kick myself if I don't back the horse now. Okay, not there, Fuse. If I change my mind, I'll probably kill myself. Mate, he's getting £4 from Killer Crown. He's getting £3 from Falco Blitz. Harry Skelton on board. Hopefully that's enough to get this horse home. As I said, there's been a lot of drift on it a little bit, but I think a 1 point win at 9-2 with William Hill on Not Now Fuse in the 450 at Sandown. On, excuse me, I'm not going to touch anything in the next race at Sandown. I'm going to leave the last race completely. So, like I said, there is other races around the. I want to take a quick look at here. I want to take a look at probably the highlighted race over at, I think it was at Doncaster this evening, which is the 5:55 at Doncaster, extended 10 furlongs, 1 mile 2. It's only a class 3, 5 go to post. And I really did. I mean, I just think Highway Grey has got a very, very good chance here. I mean, Ryan Moore stayed over to ride Pharaoh Speed for Richard Hannon. Obviously, we know Richard Hannon's horses are running well at the moment. Silent Hunter is going to be a likely favourite here for Sign Bid Strawn and champion jockey OSC Murphy. First time out. Thaban, Sir Michael Stout's horse here. I mean, Stout won this back in 2017 and back in 2014 with Ryan Moore, Jim Crowley. But he's booked Dane O'Neill here. And he's on the first run of the back of a wind operation. We're going to have a look at Thaban here. First time out for the season. It's going to be interesting, this horse, actually. 4-1. Been a bit of money around for this horse. Hasn't won. Last was seen winning over course and distance. Back in August last year, of a mark of 85. Under Dane O'Neill. Horse has tended to go well fresh. If we go back last year when it transitioned from the age of 3 to 4, came out and finished second on debut to be on a horse called Frankly's Darling, and we know how good Frankly's Darling is, or John Gosden's. Yeah, I would say if we go look at the Yarmouth run his last run under Jim Crowley, didn't get involved at all on the good to firm in the quick ground. Was beaten quite convincingly, but that was a class 2, and look who he was beaten by. Now it's only a four horse race. Now back in there was Stars of Wings, who came out and franked that form off marks of 84, and was sent over to Riyadh this year. Finished 8th in a very competitive race. In second was Tritonic. Tritonic has obviously gone hurdling. Tritonic took the juvenile hurdle over at Ascot this year. Went out and won the Grade 2 juvenile hurdle at Kempton. And it's rated 147 in the Triumph hurdle. So, and it was also rated it was a 94 rated horse on the flat. So really, Thaban has been up against some very, very good horses already on the flat. They've gone on to do good things. I like the fact that Dane O'Neill's come back in for the ride. He's got a nice high draw in stall 5, so there should be no excuses. And I'm going to give this horse a little squeaky at the barn. I think, too big or 4-1. I thought this horse would be fighting for favouritism, but obviously it's not. So I think inside of the 5.55 at Doncaster, I'm going to go here for Thaban. 1 point win at 4-1, Jeremy across the board. It's in the 5.55 at Doncaster. Thaban. 1 point win at 4-1. There was a couple of other races I was looking at here. I think there's one at Haydock that took my eye a little bit. Let me look here. Just make sure I got this right. Let's have a look. No, there was nothing at Haydock, sorry. So I think they were going to go to Leicester. I think there's one race that interests me at Leicester, which was, this is the 2:10 at Leicester that interested me. And this is the elusive bloodstock EBS Stallions King Richard III Stakes over 7 furlongs. Just the 4 runners here. Strong favourite in Pogo. We've got the flights of Mum's Tipple in there, which is the recent all-weather winner. Shine So Bright for Andrew Balding, and Beat the Bomb for Richard Hannon, Holly Doyle. And I think this is a very trappy fair. Pogo obviously sets the standard off the back of the second to Happy Power in the Godolphin Stud Challenge Stakes over last October at Newmarket. And the best win obviously has come off a mark of 107 in listed company. We're running off 112, so you've got to carry that £5 penalty still. Shine So Bright down the bottom there has dropped considerably at the ratings here, this horse. I mean, this horse last year was rating off marks of 112, 114, winning off 111 at York, listed a Group 2 7 furlong race. But the thing is, this horse hasn't run over 7 furlongs that often. If we look at his runs, last seen 6 furlongs too short in a Group 3. We can probably disregard that in the Abundant Stakes at Newmarket. Probably disregard that totally. Ran very well in the Bombardier Handicap when beaten ahead by Count Otto over at Lingfield on Champions Day. And then ran very well behind Hyde and Dress last year, beaten again off mark of 103. If we go down to Doncaster, go down to form line on the turf, I mean, over 7 furlongs, finished 3rd to Safe Voyage over 113. Beat Lawrence in the City of York Stakes back in 2019 of a mark 111. So really, even at this horse at 5, he's only a 5-year-old, and it Shine So Bright is a horse that tends to run quite prominent. I mean, if you looked at it, when I saw him run last time out at Newmarket, yeah, he was chasing the leaders, but he couldn't get his himself forward to dictate the pace. It's what Shine So Bright does so well. I didn't think the Aberdeen Stakes was probably the right race for him. 6 furlongs. It says here in the write-up, weakened inside final furlong. He didn't weaken because it was the fact that he didn't get the distance. It's the fact that obviously he was taken off his feet. The trip was too short. He had to wear hood to the post, which is pretty natural for Shine So Bright. And he was trying to run a 7 furlong horse trying to run a sprint. And he was never going to go to pace off 9 stone 7. Comes to this again of 9 stone 2. D'Souza comes in for the ride again. I think Shine So Bright could, if this horse gets a soft lead on the front, D'Souza could put his lot asleep. Sean Levy, cracking jockey. Was last seen over at the All-Weather Championships when beaten by Kuzam to 5 lengths. And Bless Him was back in 3rd. That form's got a little bit of oomph to it. As we know, I think Padis Pier slaughtered both Kuzam and Bless Him yesterday. if we can get it up, if it's going to move. Yeah, they were beaten by Palace Pier at Sandown yesterday in the Bet 365 mile, in equivalent of quite a lot. But Palace Pier is a class animal. But Blessing ran very well. I think Blessing was probably the unlucky story in the race. I don't think he would have beaten the winner. However, came out once the horse got daylight, ran on really well. I think he would have been a lot more closer than he was. So yeah, that's good form for Mums Tipple. Rate 109 on the all-weather that day. Back on turf. She hasn't. This horse has not won on turf since winning a Class 2 at York back in August 2019, and then got a rate of 116 when sent to Newmarket in the Middle Park Stakes, and really didn't shine really. And I just think, even though a 4-year-old, and obviously he's won a listed race, Mums Tipple. If this horse can take that form back onto turf, Mums Tipple would have a very good chance under Sean Levy. Currently 5-2 in the market. Pogo's 6-4, 11-8 generally, but I think Shine So Bright and even Beat Le Bon, Richard Hannon's other horse here. Nicely bred by Wootton Bassett. Holly Doll will come in for the ride, 11-2. And you know what this girl's like? She's cheeky. She will if you're sitting wrong here, she'll come over the top of you. You can't be disgraced when finishing 5th to double or bubble at Newmarket back on the 13th of April, a couple of weeks ago. But the winning streak goes, this horse hasn't won since the 2nd of August back in 2019, when winning for a mark of 104, when winning a Class 2 handicap over a mile. 7 furlongs looks a bit short for the horse. I think the horse more of a miler, Beat Le Bon. So I'm going to take a stab here at Shine So Bright. It's a strange 4-run affair. Pogo is the form horse, Charlie Hills. Richard Hand's got Mums Tipple. Obviously, we'll have to reverse that, bring that form from all-weather to turf. But I think Shine So Bright cannot be discounted. I think it'll run a very, very big race. The prices are pretty there, 4-1. So I think a 1-point win at 4-1 on Shine So Bright to win the 210 at Leicester. I don't think there was any other horses, obviously, around that I wanted to have a look at. We'll have a quick look around now before I finish the blog. I'm not going to go back home again, guys, because you've heard what I've backed in. You've heard the point system. We do have one race, I think, here I'm interested in. That is the Silver Sprint Trophy Handicap at Redcar. Is it Redcar Ripon? At Ripon, sorry. It is the 4.25 at Ripon, which is the Ripon Silver Sprint Trophy Handicap. Over 6 furlongs, just a 6 go to post here. And it's a very, very hard race here to fathom out. Anything really wins here. But I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to a horse called Musica here. I'm going to kick myself, obviously, if Baltimore wins this race. I put this horse up several times. But I'm hoping Musica can run well here. As it's for bets, I don't know, because obviously Mark Johnson's horses are running well again around the northeast. He's got Desert Safari here. Obviously the side's Slave Power, so there's no problems with the speed factor here. Won in the all-weather at Kempton last time out, back in April, when winning off a mark of 893. As turf form goes, this horse is still looking to bring that kind of all-weather form to turf. Best run was at York last year on soft ground of mark of 93. The horse could be vulnerable here off the current mark of 96. Stackton never seems to run a bad race, but I think this horse tends to run its best races around Ripon. He's a course and distance specialist. Does enough to win races. He runs of marks of 84 and 88 last year, around in August time. If we look around the time, you don't really see this horse generally this early of the season, so we'll probably need to run. I don't think the horse has been greatly drawn, to be fair. Mizika here could snatch the rails here for David Amara. Simon Canan comes in the ride, a £5 claimer. Nicely drawn on the rails here. Last seen at Beverley a couple of weeks ago when finishing 4th to Victory Angel for a mark of 91 under his apprentice. If we have a look at the way the horse run, I think I saw the race, and considering the horse finished 4th, he only went down by half a length. Broke well contestedly, pushed before 2 out, ridden before final furlong, kept on gamely, headed late on. So that's the thing that he's rated 91 there. That was over 5 furlongs. Steps on at 6 furlongs. He could be a kind of horse that obviously he's got battling qualities, basically. So yeah, excuse me. So the 425 Ripon, the Silver Sprint. I'm going to go for Mizika here. David O'Mara's horse here, or David O'Meara. We're going to have a 1-point win at 9-2 on Mizika in the 425 at Ripon. So guys, thanks for listening. I mean, it's been quite a long podcast here today, 56 minutes. Please take the time to listen to it. Like I said, also please take note of Tony Hoare's dog and the 2 dogs that he's put up there. Please listen carefully to that. I would appreciate that you obviously give the podcast on the YouTube channel a like, please, or just subscribe. We'd like you to subscribe to it, please. And as I said, there's comments there. You can leave it. It'd be very appreciative if you can leave some feedback comments as well of what you've heard. Thanks again for listening. This is on the Liver Racer channel, signing out. Have a great Saturday, guys. Come on to West Ham, beat Chelsea today, which will be good 3 points. All the best. Take care. Later.